From Washington, this is VOA News. A call to expel al-Qaeda-linked militants in an Iraqi city. The highest court in the United States rules against gay marriage in one of its states. I'm Ira Mellman reporting from Washington. Iraq's prime minister is urging residents and tribes in the besieged city of Fallujah to expel al-Qaeda-linked militants in order to preempt a military offensive that officials said could be launched within days. Nouri al-Maliki's message on state television came as dozens of families were fleeing the city Monday in fear of a major showdown. Later in Washington, White House spokesperson Jay Carney said the United States is accelerating its military sales and deliveries to Iraq to help the country fight al-Qaeda-linked Islamist insurgents. He said the U.S. would send more surveillance drones and Hellfire missiles to Iraq this year, but that Iraq must take the lead and handle the conflict itself. The United Nations has started inviting participants to this month's Syrian peace talks in Geneva, but has not yet decided whether to invite Iran. A UN spokesman Monday said the Secretary General, Ban Ki-moon, is in favor of Iranian participation, but it is up to the talks organizers, the United States and Russia, to decide who will be invited. Moscow wants Iran to attend, while Washington is imposing conditions. State Department spokeswoman Marie Harf said Iran must support a transitional government in Syria, which likely would exclude Bashar al-Assad. Harf also says Iran should urge the Syrian government to stop attacking civilians. Secretary of State John Kerry said Sunday that Iran still could take part in Geneva from the sidelines. Iran says it will not accept any proposal that does not respect its dignity. The U.S. Senate has confirmed Janet Yellen as the new head of the U.S. Federal Reserve, making her the first woman to head the central bank for the world's largest economy. She replaces Ben Bernanke, who is leaving the post at the end of this month.
Economists are predicting that economics professor and Federal Reserve Vice Chair Janet Yellen will continue many of Ben Bernanke's efforts to boost the economy. Both have called for a gradual end of the central bank's multi-billion-dollar program to keep interest rates low and stimulate the economy. President Obama says Yellen is tough and effective.
She sounded the alarm early about the housing bubble, about excesses in the financial sector, and about the risks of a major recession. She doesn't have a crystal ball, but what she does have is a keen understanding about how markets and the economy work, not just in theory, but also in the real world.
Economists say Yellen will likely continue Bernanke's policies of holding short-term interest rates close to zero by using the Fed's massive program of buying securities. Catherine Gibson, VOA News.
Find out more on this story. Read about it on our website at voanews.com. At least 5 Cambodian housing rights activists have been detained or were detained for much of the day Monday as the government crackdown on protests continued. Among the detained was Tep Bani, an outspoken leader on housing rights and forced evictions in Cambodia, and Yorm Bopa, a community leader who recently ended a prolonged stay in detention. The 5 demonstrators were held for hours after leading a rally in front of the French embassy, where they had sought to deliver a petition calling for the release of detained labor leaders and activists. All 5 were later released after signing a letter promising to halt demonstrations. These detentions come amid weeks of anti-government protesting and the deadly shooting of demonstrating garment workers on Friday, as well as the ouster of pro-opposition protesters from a public square on Saturday. The U.S. Supreme Court has put on hold gay marriages in the western state of Utah while a federal appeals court considers the issue further. That decision Monday blocks any new same-sex marriages in the conservative state where nearly two-thirds of all residents belong to the Mormon Church. Utah changed its constitution in 2004 to ban gay marriage, but a U.S. district judge ruled in December that the ban violates gay couples' rights. December's ruling led hundreds of gay couples to get married. It also prompted the state's attorney general to appeal to the Supreme Court for an emergency stay of the order while the office appeals to a higher court. The Supreme Court's order Monday was only 2 sentences long and did not reveal anything about the justice's views on the matter. Last year, the Supreme Court struck down a 1996 federal law, the Defense of Marriage Act, that defined marriage as being between a man and a woman. I'm Ira Mellman, VOA News.